Hey, how's it going, Taco fam? So, as y'all know, this was sneak peek weekend, so it was cool to be able to test some of the new cards. This is a deck I've been working on and testing. This is pure Snake Eye. I moved away from the Fire King version for at least now, because a lot of people are maining Droll, and that deck is very weak into Droll. Yes, it has a higher ceiling and a little bit more power, but I feel like pure Snake Eye is a lot more consistent. So I'll show y'all what I played. Uh, Made top 8. It's pretty good. Alright, so for the monsters, the main engine, 3 Black Witch. I think you have to play 3. It's just hard draw on this is actually really good, so I think you should play it if you have it. 2 Flame Burge. This card was in my hand a lot, but it actually was good, making a lot of combos. Depending, going second sometimes, I do side out one, depending on the matchup, because you don't really want to clunk on this. Then for the Snake Eye monsters, 3 Ash. This is definitely one of your best ones. It's your 1-card combo, and it gets to the next best. 2 Populous. So I know there's an argument for playing 3, but I was only able to get my hands on 2, and I thought it was suffice just to play 2. You don't necessarily need more than that, but this is really good. This is still a good starter, but there was a couple times where I had to make some weird combos because I did open both like once or twice, but it doesn't happen very often. And then I played 1 Oak. So there's an argument to play maybe 2 in a pure version, and I kind of could see why, but with Princess and stuff like that, there's always ways to get to it, even if you hard open it. I'm not playing Birch, which I kind of regret a little bit, so I'm thinking about putting it in, but I just wanted to try out some stuff. It was fun, sneak peek weekend. A lot of people are doing different stuff. Then for one of my last level 1 fires, playing Jet. The reason why I like this, because this deck is allowed to make Omni Negates, which the Fire King version cannot. So that's why I thought this would be a lot stronger of a version, because making Savage or Baron or both is actually really good. And my spicy tech, I'm playing a Mudora and Kildo. I know this kind of looks silly, but it works with a lot of cards in the deck. AKA these, it definitely works with these. The Witch, Wanted, stuff like that. And this is actually how you win against the Fire King matchup a lot of the time, because just getting rid of their resources in the grave before they use them is actually really good as well. And they're not bad cards to draw either. For the hand traps, I didn't play too many, but I played these 8 monster hand traps. I'm thinking about cutting the shufflers because it was fun to play and maybe move them to the side, but playing Crow actually was really good. Serves the same purpose, banishes stuff, but at least with the shufflers, I can still put my stuff back in the deck too, so it's not that bad. Droll belongs in everybody's deck right now because of all the searching, and Ash is just generic and it's a fire, so it comes up a lot. Then for the spells, 3 Poster, definitely need them. Since this is pure, you definitely play 2. I think even in the, not just the pure Snake Eye version, I think in the Fire King version, you still probably should play more than 1, because sometimes the Populous get stopped. Just hard drawing this actually kind of good sometimes. And this card is still engine. I'm playing 1 of the field spell, and I'm actually playing 1 Chase. Chase is actually low-key really good. Just being able to place a Black Witch from your hand, deck, or graveyard into spell and trap zone. So it kind of counts as engine. So if you do draw this plus a bunch of hand traps, it's okay, because you just use this, put Witch there, and then during the end phase, summon Witch, and then Witch set your other cards. And this is how you play through Nib most of the time. And for my spicy engine, I'm actually playing a Sky Striker package. So this is why I was doing really well. So this is another engine that you could use. Yes, it plays in the Droll, but we use this mainly to deal with Fire Kings and stuff like that, because most of their interruptions are destruction related, and the best way to deal with a lot of their interactions is just taking their monsters. So cards like Talents and stuff is really good too. But a lot of your Snake Eye monsters, they send themselves for cost to try to summon from the hand or the deck. When you do that and they have no response, you pretty much could just chain Anchor. And because we do play a decent amount of spell cards in the deck, you will more than likely be able to resolve to actually take their monster. And this is a level 1, so it does come up for Karibo too. And then the last 2 spells, 1 for 1 and Call By. This is pretty much any monster in your deck, and Call By is Call By. And the last card in the deck, which is a hand trap, is 3 Imperm. I'm also thinking about adding Veilers into the deck as well, maybe like 2 Veilers, but I'll probably be working on that. For the extra deck's pretty standard, simple. So there's a couple things. I don't have a princess, and there are a lot of princess lines, but probably during release I'll be able to get one. But during sneak peek, everybody was either keeping them or they were already gone. So for a couple of the link ones, these are mandatory. You need both of these because a lot of people still play into these zones for him, and Karibo's actually just kind of broken, to be honest. 1 Kagari. This for the Striker engine, obviously. It's consideration maybe for a second one, but I think 1's okay. And for some Link 2s. So these 2 are definitely mandatory. Sunlight Wolf is actually really good as well. This is how you get a lot of your extenders and get some of your hand traps back. And Masquerena pretty much turns into any Link monster. The 2 Charmers. So I think these cards will probably get hit in the future because they're actually just free. If your opponent hand traps you with certain hand traps, you can pretty much play. And since pretty much everybody's playing the same cards, you will have access to pretty much anything. And this is how you pretty much bridge into a princess, but I don't have one, but you can play other Link 3s if you don't have them at the moment. But just taking their Ash Blossom to keep climbing, or taking their Black Witch if you don't have the engine. So that's where the Link Karibo and the Anima comes up. Link 3s, just Heat Soul. Free draws is really good. Link 4s, I'm playing 3. Amblin Whale's actually really good too. Even though we don't have Princess at the moment, we will be having it in the future, but it still actually comes up, gaining 200 for each of the links that are in the graveyards. And if it's pop, you summon back any of your Link 3 or lowers. Appaloosa, this is one of the main ones that we make off of IP, and Zelantis is good whenever you use these up. And play the Typhon. This card's really crazy. Non-target bounce is good. And for the Synchros. This is why I like the Snake Eye deck a lot, because there's a lot of combos where you could bridge into Synchro summoning with Jet because of this. And because of the Charmers, you could take hand traps as well too. So that comes up a lot. Borload is pretty much how we protect ourselves from Nibiru, and allow us to keep playing. Once we have Flamberge in this, then we can safely get rid of the Flamberge so we can keep playing. For my side deck, this pretty much just depends on your local area, but 3 Nip, this card actually sucked. I didn't like it too much, but this is just the beginning of the format, so I think I'll still keep it though. 3 Ghost Spells for the Mirror, Fire King, and mainly Labyrinth. Another spicy engine, so I'm playing the Vados engine. I couldn't get my hands on multiples of these because I definitely probably would have just played 3 and not played the rest of the engine. But these help you a lot against every deck. So the reason why it's good, during the main phase, if this in your hand, you could target a field spell on either player's field, blow it up, and then give this to your opponent. And if this leaves their field and goes to your grave, it nukes all the monsters on the field. So it's really good. This is pretty much how you get to it, because this places the field spell from the deck and then searches. If this card was given to your opponent, which this card can give them, then you search this. But in the future, I'll probably just play 3 of these and not play these. Frees up some space, But for now, it was actually pretty good. Just being a quick play, another spell for the striker cards. Yes, it locks you into Pyros from the extra deck, but you can pretty much do this last. Just do all your combos and then activate this so that you can get another disruption during their turn. And if we were playing a second one, you could get the draw, but it's mainly just for Disrupted Fire King, because whenever they use the effect of their field spell, you just chain him, pop their field spell, summon this to their side, and their field spell is mandatory to nuke. And then for someone else, Reborn and Subversion. I mainly side both of these in when I'm going second. And it's kind of like another Charmer. This pretty much takes the Garunix out of the grave. This could take their Princess before you start playing. And this could, like I said, push monsters to the back of the bus. And I didn't really know what else to play for the last 2 slots, so I just played these. I know it's kind of weird not having thrust, but like I said, in the Fire King matchup, you kind of want to just take their monsters. It's just better that way. Take their monsters without destroying them, and then use them against them. Okay, so I have a couple honorable mentions. I'm probably going to make some edits to potentially play them. But this guy, Enigmaster Pick something. Basically, I call this guy Mega Man, but he's actually good in this deck because he's level 8, and we're playing, Jet Synchron, which is easy to access. But on summon, or if this guy is sent to the grave, you get to target a monster on the field or grave, or your opponent's field, and then you get to push it to the back row and make it a trap. And he has another effect, which is actually fairly decent as well. During another player's turn, if this card is a continuous trap, you get to push someone face-up monster card in your spell trap zone. So, decent card. I think it's low-key, not on the radar right now, but if you don't have this, you probably should get it for later. But another card that I thought would have been insane in this deck is definitely Droplet. And I don't know why I wasn't playing it. I just didn't really have enough time to really put it in because I wanted to play other cards. But I think this would be good. My only issue was I expected my locals to play a lot of cash. And if I took this to an event, there might be a lot more cash. So this could probably be a problem depending on how many times they open Shifter. But just dodging stuff is actually good. Negating stuff and cutting stuff in half is good. So I'll probably still play it regardless. The Birch. I'm definitely going to put this in the main deck. Just having another fire monster you can search. And it's a free summon too. And it's a disruption during your opponent's turn. The 2 Veilers. I'm probably going to still squeeze these in. Just have more versatility with my hand traps. 3 Super Poly. I could have played this, but I decided to play without it just to see how it would actually run. And I think it could be hit or miss. So this could come up a lot. So if you want to play it, you can. And depending on the popularity of the deck and the inboards everybody's making, definitely could play it. And the last card, honorable mention. So this is the poor man's Bonfire. So if you don't have Bonfire, this is a substitute. It's kind of janky. It's not the greatest, but it's actually not the worst at the same time. The only problem, you have to have a level 1 on the field to activate this. And if you don't summon that monster, you take 2,000. You don't really care too much because this searches Populace. Or this could search DD Crow or Droll, whichever thing that you may need. And in some builds, Magician Souls. So that's it for the deck profile. Wrapping up sneak peek weekend. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Leave me a like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Peace.